As you may already know, since 2014, Disney and Lucasfilm have not added any new content to the original canon of Star Wars, now referred to as Star Wars Legends, aside from the Old Republic MMO, of course. The expanded universe movement has been hard at work trying to convince Disney and Lucasfilm that continuing Star Wars Legends would be a great idea, be it books, comics, or games. Not only would it make the fans happy, but it would be profitable for the companies to offer an alternative to the new canon, and at the same time continue the amazing legacy of the original Star Wars continuity. Since it's been over 4 years, the prospects of Legends being continued have not been very encouraging, and as a Legends fan, you might feel powerless in your efforts trying to convince Disney and Lucasfilm to do so. However, I don't think you Legends fans are as powerless as you might feel sometimes. The growing numbers of people within the EU movement are proof of just how much people want to see this great storyline continue. And if we work together, we actually do have the power in getting Disney and Lucasfilm to continue Legends. These are ways that you can get Star Wars Legends continued. Step 1. Financially support Star Wars Legends books and comics. It might seem obvious, but the most important thing you can do if you want to see Star Wars Legends continue is to keep buying the Legends bannered books and comics. Buy them new, not used, from bookstores or Amazon, and you will be sending a message directly to Disney and Lucasfilm saying that you enjoy these books, you are willing to spend money on these books. Because if you vote with your wallet, you can bet a multi-billion-dollar company will pay attention to what sells. I know there are some EU fans out there who consider the Legends banner an insult, and want to buy EU books without it on there. I completely understand the sentiment. How Lucasfilm currently treats Legends books and comics are those stories that don't really matter, or that junkyard we can just walk through and pick out the parts that we like for our stuff. However, if Legends books and comics fly off the shelves so much that Disney takes note of the growing interest and do decide to continue it, then Legends will be viewed by them as a growing and thriving expanded universe instead. And let's be real honest here. If they do decide to continue the EU as an alternate universe, then I guarantee you that the new books will have the Legends banner on it. It'll be something you'll have to just suck up and deal with if you want to see something like Sword of the Jedi or Legacy Volume 3. But it's not all that bad, because as disappointed as I am that Lucasfilm isn't making new content for Legends, they are still doing something really cool by updating and creating new covers for the old books. The Barnes & Noble Collected Edition of the Han Solo trilogy comes in this beautiful leather-bound hardcover. The reprinted Thrawn trilogy has this panoramic picture made by the book covers, and there's been a ton of EU fans who were a big fan of those. The Han Solo and Lando Calrissian adventures were reprinted a while back. Don't even get me started on those Brazilian book covers by Editoria Aleph. These things have such gorgeous art on the front, and I'm very tempted to buy a couple, even though I don't understand the language. But hey, if you see a non-bannered book sitting on a bookstore shelf, and you want that one over the Legends banner version, then by all means, snatch that up, because you're still supporting the EU by purchasing it new. If you're a fan of the comics, these Marvel Epic collections of various runs of both Marvel and Dark Horse era EU are fantastic ways to add a ton of content to your EU collection at a pretty good price. Also, a new one seems to come out practically every other month. But what if you own all the books and comics within the expanded universe, so you don't need to buy anything with the Legends banner on it? Well, first off, congratulations on your massive collection. I am quite jealous. But even if you own all there is to own, you could still buy the Legends books for people you know as birthday or Christmas gifts. Think of people you think might really enjoy them, and get it for them. You don't have to force it on them, just get them a really awesome EU book, let them read it and decide if they like it or not. If they do, then congratulations. You may have started someone on the path to encouraging Disney and Lucasfilm to get more EU too, and open them up to really awesome stories as well. Continuing to support the expanded universe means we have to show Disney and Lucasfilm that there are people still willing to drop a lot of hard-earned cash for it. The more it sells, the more money it makes for Disney and Lucasfilm, and the greater the chances increase for them to continue the Legends storyline. Step 2. Don't financially support the new Star Wars canon. Please just hear me out on this one before you label me as some hater, because it's not as controversial as it might sound. And if you're not a fan of the new canon and don't buy anything from it anyway, then congratulations, because you've already accomplished this step. But to those of you who are fans of the new canon and also want to see Legends continued, allow me to explain. If the reprinted Legends books aren't selling, but the new canon material sells extremely well, then there is less of an incentive for Disney and Lucasfilm to make new Legends books and comics. On the other hand, if the new canon sales slow to a crawl while the Legends books are flying off the shelves, then the original EU will be brought back that much sooner. If the stream of revenue from you to Lucasfilm all comes not from the new movies, the new books or comics or toys, but just the Legends content, then Disney and Lucasfilm will take notice. Now imagine if there's a ton of us that are only profiting Lucasfilm through Legends. That would make them change their tune on Legends real fast. Now, if you do like the new canon, that's great. I'm not saying you shouldn't read it. Just make sure you're not funding Lucasfilm through it. You could check out the new books or movies from the library or borrow them from a friend. If you want to read the new comics, then websites like viewcomic.com upload a ton of new comics every week that you can read for free. Same with websites like Watch Cartoon Online. You can watch all the new Disney cartoons there for free instead of giving them ratings by watching it on cable or whatever streaming service they put it out on. But what if you want to own the books, comics, and DVDs for your personal collection? Buy them used off eBay. You could still collect all the content from the new canon in practically new condition for probably a cheaper price and still not have to give a dime to Lucasfilm. This all might sound a little silly to do, but I wouldn't have even suggested it if Legends wasn't put on hiatus and at risk of going away forever. Even if all this causes the new canon to sell terribly, Lucasfilm wouldn't cancel it like they did with the EU, because they are fully committed with the idea of this large connected universe to go along with the new movies. Stopping it now in its infancy would be a dumb idea. And for the record, I don't want them to stop it. I want both the new canon and Legends to continue side by side for fans of all kinds to enjoy. If you are a fan of the new canon who would be able to not buy the new canon books brand new in favor of Legends, I commend you and thank you for your support. Now, if you really want to send a message to Disney and Lucasfilm. Step 3. Don't financially support Disney or any of its affiliates except through buying Legends books. Again, I don't want to be declared a hater because I don't actually want Disney to fail or anything like that. In step 1 of this video, I basically said, support this Disney-owned product and buy as much of it as you possibly can. Think of this as step 2 dialed up to 11. Sure, Disney and Lucasfilm would take notice if the only Star Wars product they were selling was Legends books and comics. But if they saw they were not selling any Disney merchandise except for Legends books, we'd have announcements of new Legends books by the end of the week. If this sounds borderline blasphemous and incredibly difficult to, for lack of a better term, boycott nearly every source of revenue for Disney, then I chalk that down to the fact that Disney is a massive corporation and owns darn near everything. Still though, I don't owe them my money, and neither do you, or anyone else. There's other brands of toys, TV shows, games, theme parks, etc. that they don't own that you could put your money towards instead. And again, if you're a Disney fan, and I can't deny that they make quality merchandise, there are ways to get their products secondhand, like eBay or the websites I previously mentioned. Again, I understand that due to the sheer scope of what Disney owns, this step might sound impossible. For example, you might be the person who absolutely has to see every new Marvel movie in theaters. But hey, more power to you for that. If you can think of other ways you financially support Disney and are able to cut back on those for the cause of trying to get new Legends books, then I salute you. Given Disney's popularity amongst many people, I feel like I'm suggesting we overthrow the government or something. But I myself haven't been funding Disney at all other than Legends books and comics for years. And to be honest, it's gotten pretty simple for me. I think the last thing I purchased from them, other than Legends, was 2 movie tickets to the Ant-Man movie from 2015. And that's it. If you have any questions or advice on how to cut Disney out of your life a little bit, ask in the comments and I'll be happy to help. Again, I want Disney to succeed, but I also really want Legends to continue. Step 4. Subscribe to the Old Republic. As I've mentioned, the only thing that is actively being produced with new content in the Legends universe is the Star Wars Old Republic MMO. Its unique state makes it very important for us Legends fans. The more support that we can put behind it means the longer it will stay up, and the more content they will keep adding for it. Since it's the last little piece of Legends we have to hold on to, my recommendation is to financially support it to keep it going as long as possible. It's available to play for free right now, so you can still play it without actually having to spend any money on it, though by subscribing you have access to additional parts of it, beyond the base game. I'd at least try it out first for free to make sure it's a game you would be interested in before you subscribe. Even if you are a huge fan of the Knights of the Old Republic games back in the day, the Old Republic MMO is quite different. If you're not interested in the gameplay itself, many of the new story additions in the game are accompanied with a short story on the Old Republic website, so we are getting new Legends content through a little bit of tie-in material, as small as it might be. Which is another reason that the Old Republic should be supported for as long as possible. The longer it goes, the more short stories will come out on the Old Republic website. Hopefully one day they will make another tie-in novel like they've done in the past, but the only way I think that would be likely to happen is if they had more and more subscribers to the game, ensuring that its popularity would be large enough to justify a tie-in novel. I think subscribing to the Old Republic is a good idea, but once again, I recommend that you at least try it before you subscribe, or resubscribe if you haven't played it in a while. Let's keep the last source of new Legends going as long as we can, at least until we get new Legends books and comics. Step 5. Donate to the Twin Suns Foundation. If you haven't heard, the Twin Suns Foundation is an organization that donates Star Wars Legends books to people who need them most, sick children in hospitals. They've held multiple successful fundraisers in the past, and have now donated hundreds and hundreds of books to hospitals all over the United States. This is related a lot to Step 1, because the Twin Suns buys all their books brand new, directly supporting Lucasfilm, while at the same time introducing many of these kids to awesome new Star Wars stories. If you are one of those people who either own all the Expanded Universe books, or you don't like owning books with the Legends label on it, then helping contribute to Twin Suns is a way you can help support the Legends continuity while making the world a little bit better of a place for these kids. There are several ways to help donate. The easiest is to go onto smile.amazon.com and have a portion of whatever you buy on Amazon go towards the Twin Suns Foundation. It doesn't cost anything extra for you, but you'd be helping the Twin Suns Foundation in their mission. If you follow Twin Suns Foundation on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you can stay up to date when we run a fundraiser, raising money to help buy all of these books. Spreading the word about the Twin Suns Foundation to other people also helps out a great deal. In addition to raising money to donate these books, Twin Suns has in the past promoted the EU by renting a billboard asking Lucasfilm to continue the Expanded Universe, right outside Lucasfilm headquarters in San Francisco, so every Lucasfilm employee saw it on their way to work. This also generated a buzz online among various media outlets. It's something we'd love to do again. Twin Suns promotes the EU through viral campaigns designed to financially support the Legends continuity, give books to sick kids in hospitals, and tells Lucasfilm directly that we want more of the Expanded Universe. For these reasons, donating to the Twin Suns Foundation would go a long way in helping the EU get continued. Step 6. Ask Disney and Lucasfilm online. Companies spend lots of money trying to figure out what potential customers want to buy. By telling them you want more Legends to be made, the way I see it, you're doing them a huge favor. On social media, on any Star Wars related post that Disney, Lucasfilm, or Del Rey make, I would let them know, in a respectful manner, that you would also like to see more Legend stories get made. It doesn't seem like much, but if more and more people work together and do it, the bigger demand Disney will see for it. Considering how recently they announced the Clone Wars TV show was coming back, and they credited fans who were campaigning to bring it back, to me that's just confirmation that putting the pressure on Lucasfilm by asking them to get Legends continued at any possible opportunity is the right way to go. I like using Twitter especially because there are plenty of high-profile Lucasfilm employees on there. Let them know that you want to see more Legends as well. I also have been recommending the hashtag #SaveTheExpandedUniverse. It's straightforward and it mirrors the successful hashtag #SaveTheCloneWars campaign. Beyond Disney and Lucasfilm, there are other companies that work to produce Star Wars content as well. Marvel, Funko Pop, EA Games, Hasbro. You can contact them and ask for more Legends toys, comics, and games. Since the merchandising of Star Wars toys isn't firmly tied into whatever Lucasfilm is doing, these companies have a lot more freedom and will for sure listen to ideas on how to make more money. That's how we got Revan and Jaina Solo made into a figure. That's why we got an Imperial Shadow Guard pop figure. I know Marvel comics don't sell as well as they used to, so asking them to make Legends comics and keep those Marvel Epic collections coming could give them ideas on how to improve their profits. I know it's the internet and everything, but I still suggest that we are civil in how we ask these companies and employees to continue Star Wars Legends. Even if trolls comment on your post or tweet, just ignore them. Our focus should be on the people who actually have a say in whether Legends come back or not. Even more important than comments on social media posts, there are ways to email directly to these companies. In addition to listing them here, I'll also put all the email addresses in the description. While contacting each one of these companies, as always, I recommend that you're nothing but civil to them in asking that you want more Legends books, comics, toys, or figures. Let them know that you're a passionate fan of Star Wars and are willing to spend money on the product if they're willing to make it. But if you want to get even more serious about sending a message to these companies, Step 7. Write a letter to Disney and Lucasfilm. Sending letters through snail mail might seem really outdated in the internet age, but that makes them all the more special when one is sent and received. It's more personal, and it's something physical that can be held in someone's hands, rather than ones and zeros inside someone's inbox. Don't get me wrong, sending those emails are important. The more the merrier. But I feel like this is going the extra mile. And like with Step 6, you can send mail to not just Disney and Lucasfilm, but Del Rey for Legends books, Hasbro for Legends toys. I'll put the addresses to send your letters in the video and in the description as well. Voting with your wallet is important, but saying what you want to the folks in charge of Star Wars is important too. Step 8. Join the EU Rebellion. If you're feeling alone in your efforts to get the expanded universe continued, there are places you can go and talk with thousands of other people who are after the same thing. The more people reach out to each other, talk to each other, the more we can organize and help each other out. We're growing every day, and we want your support too. We're mostly on Facebook with groups like Alliance to Preserve the Expanded Universe, the EU Rebellion, the Expanded Universe Preservation Society, and Two Canons, One Universe. There are also Facebook pages like the Expanded Universe Rebellion, Twin Suns Foundation, my own page, Continue the Star Wars Legends Universe, the Star Wars Cantina, and Give Us Legends. It may sound like a lot, but they're all great pages. Check them out, see if you're interested, and join in on the fun. Links to all these will be in the description. If I missed any, feel free to comment below and I'll add it to the list. Step 9. Spread the word. If you have friends and family who are Star Wars fans, tell them about the EU movement to get Legends continued. Whether they're a fan of the new canon, just getting into the EU, or if they're hardcore EU fans that don't know about us yet, we're not out to make enemies. We're out to make friends and get more stories in the timeline that we love continued. If they're not sure what they can do to get involved, you could show them this video. This list of steps is for any one person to do their part in helping getting the EU continued, but getting more and more people involved in helping out, even if it's just a little bit, is fantastic, and you have my personal thanks. If there's anything on this list you disagree with, or anything you think I should add, let me know in the comments below. Also, if there's any of these steps that you're going to do, or already are doing, you can tell me that too.